Hello, my friends. This is Matt here with Mindful Mercer and Exercise, and today we're just going to be doing our second session of yoga. All right, so without further ado, let's hop into it. Alrighty. So for the first thing, what we're going to do is kind of similar to what we did in the last yoga video. So we're going to start out sitting crisscross applesauce. We're going to place our hands on our knees, and first we're just going to start out with some deep breathing. So first we're going to do 10 deep breaths, and then we'll move into the next exercise. All right? And we'll do some deep breathing now. Alrighty, and as our body begins to relax a little bit more, you can just take a couple more deep breaths before we move into our next exercise. So we'll just do one last inhale. Hold it. And then we'll exhale. Alrighty, so for this next one, we're going to be focusing on our neck, trying to release any tension that we may have. And so we're going to rotate it either clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever direction you want to go first, and then we'll switch after a few seconds. All right, we'll go. Alrighty, now we're going to reverse it. You should really feel that stretch each time you go around. Alright, good. Alrighty, so now we're going to be transitioning to our shoulders. And so oftentimes we can have a lot of tightness and tension in our shoulders. So what we want to do is we're going to start by rotating our shoulders forwards and just trying to release as much tension as we can and just alleviate any sort of discomfort that we have. Alrighty. All right, now we're going to rotate them backwards now. All right, good. So for now, for this next exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand first, and we're going to place it right behind ourselves, right? And then we're going to take our opposite hand, our right hand, and we're going to take it and reach up and try to lean to our left hand side as much as possible, really maximizing that stretch in our right hand side. So you should really feel it around your rib cage. So we're going to hold this for a couple seconds. Alrighty, and so now we're going to take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to bring our right arm down, and then we're going to switch sides. Alright, so now we're placing our right hand behind ourselves, and we're bringing our left hand up, and then bringing it right up, and we're stretching our left side. Alrighty, we're gonna take a deep breath in. All right, and exhale, and then bring that hand back down. Alrighty. So now we're gonna move out of crisscross applesauce and kind of bring our feet together, kind of like we're going into like a butterfly position, but we're bringing our feet together. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a deep breath in. And so we're gonna inhale, and on the exhale, we're gonna lean over and just really just feel that stretch in our lower back. Alrighty, so we're gonna take a deep breath in. All right, now we're gonna go over, exhaling. So you should feel that right in the armpits and in the lower back, really trying to maximize the stretch, kind of dig deep as much as possible. All right, we're gonna hold it for another 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna come back up top so we're facing forward again. Alrighty, so now we are gonna do a reverse tabletop. So for this one, we're gonna take both hands and we're gonna place them right behind ourselves. And then we're gonna take our feet, put them flat on the ground, and then we're just gonna kind of stand up so we're looking like a little crab. And so we should really be feeling that stretch in our shoulders. So we're just gonna hold this for a little bit. And really try to focus on your breathing as you're doing this, kind of breathing in adversity. Alrighty, so we're gonna hold it for another 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and now we're gonna come back down so we're sitting back on our bottoms. Alrighty. So now we will transition into child's pose. So for this, you can just swing your legs around. So you're kind of like in a praying position. So you got your knees on the ground, your feet back, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands and just stretch them out, really trying to sit between our legs. So we're really getting that good stretch in our upper back area and releasing any tension that we may have. Alrighty. And so now that we've stretched and breathed a little bit in this position, we're gonna work on going into a sort of seal pose, and then we're gonna go back down to child's pose. So I'll demonstrate it first and then we could follow afterwards. So what we're gonna do is first, I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna drop my hips down to the floor, and I'm gonna look up. And then I'm gonna go back down to child's pose, like this, dropping my hips, sitting back down between my legs. And then we're just gonna repeat that about 10 times or however many times until the next exercise. Alrighty, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our hips up again. We're dropping them down to the floor in a sort of seal pose, and we're really trying to look up so that we can really feel that stretch in our spine. And then we're gonna drop back down, back into child's pose. Alrighty, and you can do that at your own pace, but we're gonna do 10 from here. And also too, something that you can work in is on the way up back to the seals pose, you can inhale and then hold it, and then on the way back down to child's pose, you can exhale. Alrighty, we'll do about 2 more. Alrighty, so for this one, we're just gonna stand child's pose for a second and really just kind of recuperate from, doing those stretches. Alrighty, and now we're gonna come up to tabletop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our hands on the mat. And so we're gonna stand up, our knees on the mat, our hands on the mat. And so from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into downward dog. So from here, we just stand up, kind of make a triangle with our bodies. And then we are gonna press each heel going down towards the floor, kind of like we're riding a bicycle. And you can go, as fast as or slow as you need to, but it should be like kind of a slow motion, really feeling that stretch in your calves. So we're gonna do this for a little bit, really trying to get our heels to the floor as much as possible. Alrighty, so now we're gonna stop. And what we're gonna do, and this may be a little tough, and it's okay to be a little shaky, but we're gonna take one leg, we're gonna bring it up, we're gonna hold it here for just a second, not too long though. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our leg and we're gonna bring it through, so like we're doing a lunge. And then we can have our other knee that we're not using resting on the ground. So we're gonna lift up our hands, try to stretch as high as we can, trying to reach the ceiling. It's okay to be a little off balance. If you focus on one thing, it may be a little easier to balance. Alrighty, and we're gonna take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're gonna bring our arms to the side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the cactus pose, like so. We're just gonna hold this for a second. So you really should be trying to open up your chest as much as possible. Alrighty. So now, we're gonna bring our hands, we're gonna bring them to the mat, like so. And we're gonna bring our leg that is resting on the mat, we're gonna bring that up, right? So now we're kind of doing a low lunge. And this may take a little bit of balance, but we're gonna bring our hands up. We're gonna try to reach up as much as possible again. All right. So for this next one, we're gonna pivot our leg, our back foot. So we're gonna pivot, and then we're gonna go to warrior two pose, right? And then now we're gonna take our front hand, reach it down, and really try to feel that stretch in our legs, and up like that. So it should be all right. All right. So now we're gonna bring that back up. So now we're back in warrior two. All right. And then we're gonna just do the reverse motion. So now we're gonna bring our back foot, we're gonna pivot it back, so like we're doing the lower lunge. We're gonna bring our hands to the floor. We're gonna drop that bottom knee like we were doing. So we should be in this lower lunge. And then we're gonna take this foot and we're gonna bring it back. So now we're in tabletop. Alrighty. And so now we're gonna go back in to the downward dog and do the same exact thing, but on the other side. So now we're gonna lift our left leg, or the leg that you didn't do last time. We're gonna lift that up, hold it for just a second, and we're gonna thread it through. So bring it back so we're in that lower lunge. Our knee is back on the ground. All right, and so we're gonna take our hands yet again and bring them up. So we're really trying to stretch, trying to open up our chest and feel it in our hips, and you can lean forward to maximize the stretch a little more. Alrighty, and so now we're gonna take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're gonna come back down into a cactus pose. Alrighty, so we're gonna hold it here for just a second. All right, so now we're gonna drop our hands back down to the mat. All right, and we're gonna lift the leg that's on the ground. We're gonna lift that up, so now we're in the lower lunge again. And we're gonna bring our hands up, bringing them up, trying to bounce as much as possible. And it's okay if you fall, no worries. Holding it up, And then we're going to pivot our back foot. So pivot. So we're in this lunge still. And then we're going to bring our hands to the side, going into warrior two pose. All right. Alrighty. All right, and so now we're going to drop our hand to the ground. So we're looking, trying to open up our chest, feel that stretch. All right. So now we're going to go back to warrior two. Then we're going to pivot. So we're back to that front lunge. Bringing our hands down. We can drop our leg. Bring our hands to the floor. And then we're going to take this leg that's out and just bring it back to tabletop. Alrighty. And so as a decompressor, we're going to go back into child's pose and catch our breath a little bit. And then we're going to work on some decompressing and de-stressing. So we're going to go back into child's pose, sit in between our legs as much as possible. Sitting in between our legs. And really just trying to focus on your breathing, slowing down your heart rate right now. Alrighty, so we should be straight. And so from here, we'll go into some decompressing. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna sit on our bottom. So we're gonna rotate this way to sit. And we are going to lay on the ground. Hands to our side is completely flat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tense up our toes. So we're gonna try to curl our toes. Try to make them as tense as possible. All right, then we're going to do our whole foot. And then release it. And we're going to go to the ankles. And then release it. And then work our way to our calves, tighten them up. And then release it. And then our quads. Then release it. And now our hips and our glutes, we're going to tighten those up. And then release it. And now our core, we're going to tighten it up. And then release it. And then our shoulders and our back. And release it. And now our fist. And then release it. And then finally we're just going to scrunch up our face. And then release it. So now we should feel pretty relaxed. And so from here, we're just going to really try to seep into the floor and just get in a relaxed state as we just unwind before the end of the session. All right. So that should be it for us. So thank you guys for joining us for today's yoga session. I hope that was relaxing. You guys got a little bit of exercise. We'll catch you in the next one.